Brian, are we okay? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Doug. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Great, I love it, I love it. It's good. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Akron. We're a part of a team of 1.4 million passionate individuals in 46,000 plus clubs worldwide. We are both an international organization and a local community leader. Together we lead change in our backyards and across the world. I'm Linda Farkas. I'm honored to be the 2022-2023 president of our club. Thank you so much for joining us today in person and online. If you would now at this time, please stand and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, the four-way test, and an invocation today given by our wonderful Jack Herrig. Connor?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? All right, Linda.
Thank you. Jack?
Good afternoon, everyone. A privilege to be with you and do the invocation today. But before we pray, I wanted to share with you about a Rotarian friend that we lost last week. A Rotarian from the Rotary Club of Freshwater Bay, Australia. Actually, the story is more about Rotary presidents and why I believe they the most important asset the Rotary Club has. 55 years ago, an Australian Rotary Club president inducted a young doctor into the Rotary Club of Belmont, Australia. His name is Tim Collins. He lived and breathed Rotary. He was active in 4 clubs in his Rotary life before founding Freshwater Bay in 2008. His wife is also a Rotarian. He has served in leadership capacity at every level of Rotary, including Rotary International Director and Foundation. Most important for PRID Tim is the image of the work of Rotary does. He's the image of what Rotary does good in the world. With his vocation as a medical practitioner, he served as a Rotary volunteer. Excuse me. He served as a Rotary volunteer overseas, working in remote villages in third world countries, refugee camps in Hong Kong. He was heavily involved in polio eradication, having been a polio survivor himself. One of the 4 avenues Rotary service is vocational service. Vocational service was what Ken put to work in his life doing good in the world. And I pray that you can see that, and a Rotary president not including Dr. Ken, who placed him on the path of vocational service, many people's lives would not have been changed. That's why I say a Rotary Club president are our most valuable asset. I urge you to assess your own vocation and how it can be part of Rotary service. Now let us pray. Creator God, Spirit, Yahweh, Jehovah, we know you by many names. You I give one thought to keep when you say, I am with you I am with you still. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on the snow. I am sunlight on ripened grain. I am gentle with autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am swift uplifting rush of quiet birds, rippling flight. I am the soft stars that shine at the night. Do not think of me as gone. I am still with you, each dawn. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jack, so much. It's good to see you and Vivian. Thank you. Thanks to everyone. At this time, Karen will do our official welcome of our greeters. Well, she's our greeter. She'll do our guests.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. We have 2 guests here, and then I'll go to online to see if we have anyone. But Connor Jarvis has a guest, Jillian Harmon, who I got to meet, who's a delight.
Yes.
Jillian, want to introduce? Go ahead.
Jillian, you want to say hello? You're a special guest.
That's right.
I'm an accidental guest. I just happened to be here at Bounce today. I know Brian from the Cuyahoga Falls Chamber. I'm relatively new to Ohio. I moved here right before the pandemic at the end of 2019. So I'm just really starting to network and get to know people. My business is, I specialize in graphic design, branding, marketing, and websites. So I'm happy to be here and learn more about your organization.
Welcome, Jillian. And Katie Miller has a guest, if you'd like to introduce the love of your life.
Well, we're pretty busy, so introduce him, but no. I brought with me my husband, Tim Miller, who is the president of Cascade Box Park Association, who very closely works with the Ohio and Erie Canalway Coalition.
Welcome, Tim. Do we have any guests online?
No, we don't, Karen.
Thank you, Terry. And just a reminder, if you haven't filled out your survey from Sandy and Aragon yet, you have another week to do it.
Great. Thank you so much, Karen, and welcome to our visitors. I just want to piggyback on what Karen said, the survey. I heard from Sandy and Aragon this morning, and we're doing the survey to find out what your thoughts are. At this point, as of this morning, only 34 people had filled out the survey. And Karen, I don't know, do we have hard copies with us today?
I did not bring any hard copies.
No, okay. But please take the time. We are doing this at your request. So please fill out the survey. You have till next week to do. At this time, do we have any folks that have been Rotary ambassadors? Anybody visiting other clubs? We're so happy to have Julie Randall here today. She's our district governor-elect. Woohoo!
Thank you very much. It's always nice to be at my home club, but right now I just want to give you a heads up that our next, this is for Tom Canalway. Is he here still? Yep, there he is. All Ohio pet states have been set for March, and that is the training for our next president. And then there will be some online training to alleviate some of the stress of overscheduling that weekend so that it's more fun and more fellowship. So there'll be 3 online trainings, September, November, and January. So those will be like 1.5 hour sessions online so that we can have more fun on the weekend in Columbus. So that's coming up. I've been on the planning committee for that, and just going through transition, going through my own training. There's a lot of it. So just getting ready to be your next district governor.
We're excited to have you, and I saw today that we have another lady that's going to be our Rotary International President for 24-25. And she hails from Pennsylvania. So this will be our second lady president, international president. So excited. Okay, Connor, are we ready for happy dollars from all our folks this morning?
We'll see. Is anyone happy here? All right, Dave Hall.
Thank you. I have 3 happy dollars. The first one is last week I was unable to attend because I flew out to Seattle and brought my oldest daughter home from Seattle who had a traveling nurse contract out there. She's happy to be back in Ohio. She said Seattle is not her favorite city. So, but on the way back we stopped at Glacier National Park, which is a must-see and a fantastic place if you've never been there. Number 2. Is the Akron Food Bank project is next Wednesday, week from tomorrow. So if I could find out from everybody by this Friday, if you're going to be able to attend, we do something fun every week, or every month I should say. I think if you saw, we repackaged 800 pounds of Rice Krispies, which is a massive bag, into 2-pound bags for redistribution, and it's always interesting there. So if you can make that straight. And then thirdly is we're going to be following, I want to steal Dave Miller's thunder, but following the service project, we're going to stop at Arshay's and have dinner and drinks. So if you can make it, that would be great. Let me know. And there's an application process to sign up for being a volunteer at Akron Food Bank. So it's a quick and easy process. Thank you.
3 happy dollars for Snap, Crackle, and Pop right there.
I have 5 happy dollars. This has been a crazy week for us. Last Thursday, we put an offer in on a new house after being 31 years in our 3-story, raising 3 kids edifice. We're moving only a half-mile away. We're on the other side of Portage Country Club to a single level floor plan. Now that we're empty nesters, and we're thrilled, but I don't know if Kathy's real thrilled. Yeah, so if anyone knows a good, reliable, we're developing a list of estate sale people who conduct estate sales, tag sales. So if you do, see me afterwards and let me know. But this is it's a big step, but it was time. It's been building, but we pulled the trigger and made it. The weird thing is, it's the house that my son-in-law grew up in. So that's even more of a coincidence.
Congratulations, Doug. Steve Bowie.
Yes, I just wanted to take the time to thank everyone who attended my evening a week and a half ago out at the camp. I was really honored and blessed by the time and also richly blessed on that second dollar for that fine, very fine bottle of scotch Dr. Rob graced me with, and it is smooth, so thank you.
Nice. Mike Gladys, all right. Got 5?
No, I'm good. I don't know if I've got 5 things. It was wonderful, Steve, to spend time with you last week. That was fantastic out of the camp. Really, just a lot going on. Dave and I were just talking, this is like the sports start back up for the kids and school and everything else. So we're now back full-time soccer family. And that's one thing. And then my oldest, my 15-year-old is now decided he wants to play golf and made the Padua High School golf team. So super happy for him there. It's just something that he's been wanting to do. Didn't think he could do it, and he's been working at it. So really happy. And it's just great to be back and see everybody at the board meeting today and everyone at the Rotary meeting. So that's all I got.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. $2. First is remember that the cornhole tournament's coming up at the end of the month. There's still time to sign up. We're trying to get some sign-ups in this week so we know how many T-shirts, what sizes to get, and there's opportunities for sponsorship. And we can still take in a couple of raffle items. So please, cornhole tournament benefits the camp, and it's run in part through the camp and some of our friends from Rotaract, some of their younger potential members. And sort of along the Rotaract lines, I got involved with the canal back in the JC's days when the JC's were asked to come down and clean up this old building down called the Muscle Store. And I'm happy to see Jenny here because she found out about me through that and got me into Rotary. And Jerry's here with her, and the Millers are here, and Dan Rice. Maybe he'll mention it, maybe he won't have time to mention it, but his first office was in my living room when I was living in the house at the Muscle Store. So we go back a ways.
Thank you, Dr. Doug. Steve. And Kate.
So I have 2 happy dollars. In 1981, my wife attended her first ever concert, was Journey on the Escape Tour. So Saturday night, we took our 12-year-old and our 10-year-old to see their first concert, which was Journey down in Canada. We had a great night, phenomenal concert. So it was a lot of fun with the girls. Although my little one ended up laying on the chairs for a little while, she was tired.
I was down there driving golf carts, so I was one of the courtesy cars. You guys could have gotten a ride.
We did.
It's not for me, I guess.
I have 5 happy dollars. September 20th, your incoming district governor and myself are going to be celebrity bartending at a Change for a Change event at a place called Mercedes Lounge in West Akron. I will get information out. But all the proceeds are going to benefit the Rotary Camp. And I'm looking for some people along to help us do that, to bartend, and come and support us, bring your friends, bring your family if you like them. And I'll need somebody to help sell raffle tickets as well. So I'll give you more information on that. It's just very quickly coming together. September 20th, Tuesday. I think it's going to be 5:30 to 7:30. I'll be more solidified next week.
Thank you, Katie. Anyone else in the room or online that's happy or general announcement? All right, Linda, back to you.
Thanks, Connor. I just want to reiterate a couple of the announcements. David Hall for the food bank and Dave Miller for setting up the after event at our Shays Brewing. So that should be a lot of fun. And don't forget the Akron Camp. Mela, what is it called? What's it called? It starts with an R? The regatta. Yeah, right. Don't forget the regatta. Your invitation should have been in the mail. It's a fabulous time. It's a fabulous time if you haven't ever been. They have a beautiful white tent and it's all outdoors. And who's the caterer? Mela?
Bose.
Okay.
Fireworks at the end of the night, a lot of nice strolling around the lake, cocktails.
It's a beautiful event, and it's a night to remember. And Jim Redmond's here today, and Jim, Mr. Chili Open and all the other things that go with it, do you want to add to the regatta at all?
Well, yeah, I always contribute. And this morning, I had a breakthrough moment with one of our Chili Open sponsors who will be doing some capital money committed. So thanks for catching me on the spot. Is there some amount you want?
A free announcement with no money. Also, I want to remind people that at the end of the month, we're going to change our venue. We'll be meeting out at the Akron Rotary Camp on the 23rd and the 30th. So please note, the last 2 meetings of this month will be at the Akron Rotary Camp. So please plan accordingly. I hope that all of you saw the letter from our District Governor David Jones about the flood relief for Kentucky. It was a letter that was sent out and forwarded to all of our members. If it would be okay with our members today, the money that we collected for happy dollars, I'd like to put in towards the flood relief money for Kentucky. And within that money, it's Eastern Kentucky and quite a bit of devastation. So if anybody would like to donate more, that's certainly a welcome to the relief. And in that letter, there's opportunities to also volunteer. So again, for the flood relief money for Kentucky. So at this time, Jerry Kiefer is going to introduce our guest speaker for today, and we're so excited to have this gentleman present with us today. So Jerry? Okay, or you want
Can I stand here?
Yeah, you can do it there.
Yes, I would like to introduce Dan Rice. Since 1994, Dan has built more than 150 community partnerships to develop the Ohio and Erie Canalway National Heritage Area and towpath trails. He has provided organizations with assistance on organizational development, public-private partnership building, fundraising strategies, management plans, and government relations. And as usual, there's a whole lot more of his resume that I will not go into, but suffice it to say that I remember being in the Howe House when my son Walter was about to ride the Second Century ride, and there was Dan presiding and loving every minute of it. So Dan, please welcome. Welcome to the
Well, Jerry, thank you very much for that very kind and generous introduction. In many ways, it feels a little bit almost like old home week, because there's so many great friends and partners and collaborators who really have influenced me and really are responsible for any success we've had along the Ohio and Erie Canalway. Jerry is correct. I'm a little long in the tooth, although I started when I was 12. That's why I look so young to you all. I've had the privilege and honor of working with people like not only Jerry, but her mom, Virginia, Dr. Doug Housknecht, Tim and Katie Miller, Doug Cole. Doug in particular has been an incredible mentor for many years, so thank you so much for that, Doug, and Jack and Vivian Herrig, longtime supporters. And any success we've had along the Ohio and Erie Canalway is really due to all of you all, because you've had that stick-to-itiveness, if you will. Dr. Doug and Jerry kind of referred to the Cascade Locks and the Must Still Store. And Virginia and I were kind of reminiscing before the program about how, in my view, actually, Virginia is actually my godmother. Because if it wasn't for Virginia Bueno, there would not be an Ohio and Erie Canalway National Heritage Area. There would not be a Must Still Store. There would not be a Cascade Locks Park. And I say that with all sincerity and all truth, because there were people, visionary people like Virginia Bueno, Congressman John Cyberling, Congressman Ralph Regula, and the list goes on and on. And the thing that's really important to me is that people know that legacy, and that's actually why that's really one of the words up there on the slide that you see now. It really is a legacy. And that's a responsibility to really carry that forward into future generations. And I like to talk about this, and really that first slide's a really good indicator, because when we started this journey probably over 30 plus years ago, people thought we were crazy. Matter of fact, Virginia's nodding her head, Doug as well, that people said, well, why would you want to save a stinky old canal? Why would you want to celebrate that? Who's going to walk on a towpath trail? And I think that's really, really important that people understand that what they see today was not a fait accompli. It was not meant to be. Matter of fact, there were many, many obstacles. A lot of our partners right now who champion the towpath trail, both public and private partnerships, had to be sold on the idea. And it's because of people like Virginia and Congressman Regula, Congressman Cyberling. I only came along 29 years ago because they were looking for somebody to kind of help organize it as a full-time job. And I remember Virginia, I think, hired me, and I think my compensation was $600 a month at that time. And we've come a long way since then, I think. But as you see by the slide up there, what we're trying to do is just really celebrate the heritage of the Ohio and Erie Canal, and really celebrate that legacy, but really for community and economic development. Because that's what the canal actually did. I mean, literally opened up Ohio from a rural isolated frontier settlement to the third most populous state in the nation. So in some ways, we're trying to replicate, what happened over almost 200 years ago. And so really what we're doing is celebrating the natural, historical, and recreational resources, all the way from Cleveland down to New Philadelphia. And there's three main linkages, which the next slide actually this kind of talks about the partnerships, about how we do it. And this is really kind of an important slide because when you think about it, we're promoting resource conservation just the same as the Cuyahoga Valley National Park is doing. But it's a little bit different in the sense that the Cuyahoga Valley National Park is owned 100% by the federal government. We all as taxpayers pay that annual probably $12 million budget. With the heritage area, it works completely different. Because from Cleveland down to New Philadelphia, the canal and the towpath trail are owned by about 25 different partners. A lot of different people. And so we have park agencies, we have units of government, nonprofit organizations, corporations, foundations, individuals. Many of you folks in the room are our supporters for many, many years. I actually like it that way because that means everybody's part of it. Everybody has a stake in what we're doing. It's not one person's job. And I actually think it's more sustainable. Everybody feels a sense of ownership in it. And it's a very different model, I will tell you, because in 1996, Congress said they want us to go out there and build trails, preserve historic buildings, and conserve natural areas, but there's two catches. One, we're not going to give you all the money. Two, you don't have any authorities. So good luck. That's basically what they said back in 1996. And to me, it's just an amazing miracle that over 25 plus years later, over 90 miles of the canal towpath trail are completed. We're closing in on completing those last sections down there in Tuscaloosa County. And it's really because of folks like you and all of our partners to make that happen. There you see our mission statement to promote the conservation and interpretation of the natural, historical, and recreational resources. And then I think the next slide really kind of talks about the kind of where we do that. And again, we have three main linkages. We have the towpath trail, which goes 101 miles from Cleveland to New Philadelphia, a scenic byway, which is a vehicular linkage, and then we have a scenic railroad. This slide's actually a little bit outdated because it actually went to Canton. It no longer goes to Canton, but actually goes within the national park by about 24 miles. And again, you see some of the different partners that you see listed there. And then I just want to go through these slides relatively quickly, just talk about maybe how we do it. The foundation of our work are individuals, our residents. And so whether it's our canal cleanups or our bicycling events or a fishing derby, we believe very strongly that we need to partner with the local community. Our Adopt a Trail program, there are sections of the towpath trail within downtown Akron that companies that you see listed here actually adopt different sections of the trail and help to maintain it, to help support the good work that the city of Akron does. And so we work very closely with all of our partners. I'm really proud to say that we connect people to the resource. Either you're picking up trash, you're riding a bicycle, you're walking, you're helping with a fishing derby, maybe with our Summit Bicycle Share program. We try to connect people with the resource through any number of ways throughout the year. We do about probably 30 events and programs throughout the year. throughout the 3 counties of Summit, Stark, and Tuscarawas counties. We have a partner called Canalway Partners, and they focus primarily up in the Cleveland area. One of the programs I'm really proud of especially is when we talk about equity in public spaces and really providing opportunities for disinvestment neighborhoods. We work very closely with the Summit Lake youth. And so these are Summit Lake youth that we've actually hired to provide them with job opportunities. We're actually just wrapping up the 3rd year of the program. You see them weeding beds, mulching, painting tables, picking up litter, building benches. And the wonderful thing about this program is not only is it providing them with good job opportunity and actually putting money in their pockets, but it's also giving them experience about having those job opportunities. And it's also creating a sense of pride and place, because we're not doing any of these activities for anybody, we're doing it with people. Because unfortunately, there's been that legacy of doing to and not with, and things promised, not delivered, and that's one of the things we're really trying to break here. Also, last year, we actually updated our Towpath Companion. It's a publication, it's a completely free guide to the Ohio and Erie Canal Towpath Trail. And if you don't have a copy of that, we can certainly get you one of those copies. And then we also are not only working just on the Towpath Trail, we're working on connector trails. So this is a graphic of the Summit County Trail Plan. Our goal is that nobody should be any more than a 10-minute walk or bicycle ride away from regional connector trails. And so throughout Summit County, there's over 125 miles of trails that are in some form of planning and development. And you see the amount of dollars that have been leveraged in partnership with Summit County government as well as Summit Metro Parks. And some examples of those regional connector trails are the Hike and Bike Trail, the Veterans Trail, the Rubber City Heritage Trail. And those are trails that are going to be connecting throughout our community. We're working also down in Minnesota with Barberton and Norton, and we're also working throughout the county on a number of connector trails throughout the region. And we're also working on connector trails also in Stark County as well as Tuscarawas counties. Because what we're really trying to do is build that network, so people don't have to drive to the library, they don't have to drive to the grocery store or the bank. They can actually walk or ride their bicycle. And a good example of that is the Rubber City Heritage Trail, which will actually connect a number of different neighborhoods, starting over in the Middlebury neighborhood and ultimately connecting down to Firestone Park and Summit Lake. It's a really cool connector trail in the sense that it's a former rail line that served all the tire companies. So General, Goodrich, Goodyear, and Firestone. And about 80% of that trail is still there. And we're actually going to, the phase 1 is actually in design and starting over on the east side. And it's a 6-mile trail that's estimated to cost $8 million. And that's just one example. But one of the things we learned coming outside of the pandemic is that really our work is more important now than ever. Because when the world shut down a couple of years ago, where did people go? They couldn't go to the grocery store, they couldn't go to plays, they couldn't go to the malls. They went to parks, they went to open spaces, they went to trails. And so that's one of the things that we learned, and we just continue to emphasize that trails, parks, and open spaces really are not considered non-essential services. They truly are essential services. They're essential for our physical health, our emotional health, and our psychological health. And these are just some updates that have occurred over the past year. We just opened last year a new section of the Towpath Trail down by Bolivar and had a very nice ribbon cutting. And then this is a couple other shots. You'd be kind of hard pressed to tell me that whether that was in the Carter Valley National Park or in some of the Metro Parks, because it looks basically the same. There's some boardwalk sections there. And this actually is a section of trail that the Ohio and Erie Canalway Coalition does own because it involves multiple different private property owners, and we were really kind of trying to convene and pull the partnership together. Other events and programs, which you see there, I alluded to that earlier. We have a free health and wellness program. We have a scenic byway road rally, a golf outing. We do a number of bicycling events, fishing derby, canal cleanups, canoeing events. I always like to say we try to connect people in one form or another to the resource. If you've got a pulse out there in the community, we want to be talking with you. And these are just some of the highlights of some of our events and programs throughout the year. But what I really want to kind of focus on is some of our recent work, and that is with Akron Civic Commons. And that's partnering with the city of Akron to really revitalize some amazing public spaces along the Ohio and Erie Canal Towpath Trail. And two of the spaces in particular, one is Summit Lake, and the other one is Lot 3 Park. And I believe the first one that I'm going to focus on is Summit Lake. And that's a really important space from our perspective, because the Ohio and Erie Canal still goes through Summit Lake. And the connectivity, I think Doug and actually Jerry were mentioning this with Captain Richard Howe. Captain Richard Howe, whose house that we raised money to help restore, before I later actually moved into, and I did actually was in the Muscle Store home. I think it was actually Doug's front parlor actually, which was actually kind of cool. I have fond memories of that. And then, but the Captain Richard Howe's home, he was the engineer who built the Ohio and Erie Canal. And he actually engineered Summit Lake. And so there's a really good close connection with that. And we've always been kind of frustrated, if you will, that Summit Lake really hasn't gotten the recognition that it deserves, primarily because, quite frankly, we've abused this neighborhood and this space. Because once the canal was built and the canal area was finished, industry came in. And industry basically pumped water out of the lake for their industry, and they pumped the dirty water back into the lake. And so it was basically polluted, and you couldn't use the lake. And then the interstate highway system came through, which basically cut up neighborhoods. And we know the legacy of what that happened across this country. You basically take away generational wealth, you move neighbors, you displace people. And remember what I said earlier about legacy of things done to and not with, and things promised and not delivered. And so basically it's environmental racism. And so we wonder why Summit Lake, the neighborhood, is in the condition that it's in. We basically move people out. We have two Akron Public Schools there that are no longer there, Margaret Park School and Lincoln School. So why are we surprised what's happened to that landscape? We've done it. But the amazing thing is nature has done the opposite. If you go down there today, when I would extend an invitation to everybody in present and virtually, come on down on a Tuesday night. There's a farmer's market, actually it'd be tonight, actually, right, Allison? Come on down for a farmer's market. You'll be surprised at the vitality of the space. You can also take a free guided interpretive canoe trip that we do every Tuesday night from 4 to 6. And I would extend the invitation to the club. If you'd like to go for a guided canoe trip or organize it, we can organize that for you. We have about 10 canoes down there. We have kayaks. And what we've learned is when you have people experience the space, it changes their perception of the space. When you actually talk to the neighborhood residents, it's kind of hard to recognize those biases we've maybe carried with us when you're actually talking to those neighborhood residents. Because it really is an amazing space. Nature has come back. Remember how I said we've polluted the lake? They actually opened up the lake to swimming in 1919. They closed it in 1920 because it was so polluted. Today when you go there, there's osprey, kingfishers, bluegill, blue heron. We've talked to people who fish at Summit Lake and they tell us, shh, don't say anything. We don't want people to know about it. It's the best kept fishing spot in Northeast Ohio. And so everything you see here is based upon the resident feedback. It's not my ideas, it's not the Knight Foundation's ideas, it's not the City of Akron's ideas. This is truly a resident-driven process. This is the North Shore that you're looking at. They would like to see a park on the North Shore with the pavilion to have family reunions, picnics, birthday parties. They'd like to have a dedicated canoe ramp and launch. You guys should keep on going with the slides if you want to, Allison. And this is just some of the feedback. These are some of the renderings, again, based upon resident stakeholder feedback. There will be a trail that goes all the way around Summit Lake. We actually just bid that project. That project hopefully will be having a groundbreaking in another month. And we would invite you all to come down for that because people have asked, why doesn't the trail go all the way around Summit Lake? Why is there only a trail down one side of the lake? Well, initially there was, but they just ran out of money. But now there will be a trail all the way around Summit Lake. And so our goal, working in partnership with the neighborhood residents, there you see a shot of the pavilion. You'll notice the unique architecture there. Looks probably very similar. Some people may remember the architecture of Summit Lake Beach Park. That actually is reminiscent of that architecture. You see the eyebrow window piece there. Our goal is that when this is all completed, this becomes a destination for that 2.5 million hikers and bicyclists along the Ohio and Erie Canal Towpath Trail. That they say, have you been down to Summit Lake? Have you taken a canoe trip? Have you been down to the farmer's market? Have you gotten a chance to get an ice cream cone or a cup of coffee or a sandwich down there at Summit Lake? Because it's an amazing resource right in the center of our neighborhood. So I think the next couple slides, again, just different renderings. And we have tremendous support from the City of Akron. I can't say enough great things about the Knight Foundation, the City of Akron, Mayor Horrigan, Council President Somerville, because they understand the importance of equity in public spaces. And that's why they're making a $10 million investment. It truly is a public-private partnership. We're still in the fundraising mode, so if anybody's interested, I know this club does amazing work in this community, but if you want to be part of a transformational park project in the heart of our community, let me know. I'll be happy to talk with you. And then the next project, just briefly, because I know we got to keep to our time here, is Lock 3 Park. And some people might say, well, what's wrong with Lock 3 Park? Well, let me ask you, when it was really hot last week, how many of you folks were sitting out in Lock 3 Park soaking up all that sunshine? Was anybody doing? Okay, one person was. Lock 3 Park is an amazing concert, event, and festival site. It's where people go for concerts. It's where people go for festivals. But it's not a park where people just go to hang out. It's not a park where you go to walk your dog. It's not a park where you go to have a picnic, because there aren't any trees, there aren't any gardens. And so our plan is, again, based upon resident stakeholder feedback, is to turn it truly into a park. We don't want to lose the concert, the event, and the festival, because that's what makes Lock 3 successful. But how might we then add on to that? Make it a 365-day park, where it's a destination, again, along the Turban Trail. This is a view actually coming from Main Street. You see a lot of seating, trees, but still views into the park. That's what our intention and goal is. Some of the other renderings will show you the walkway. There are 4 more gardens that are actually being proposed here. This is kind of a step down. This is now looking at the lawn area, kind of think Blossom Music Center, and that's the view. And if you think about it too, the way the current stage is situated, it faces toward the building, which probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You probably want to rotate that more towards the lawn. And so that's what we're going to do in the new design of Lock 3. It's actually going to, the stage is going to be rotated towards the lawn to actually open up a much broader view. You see, actually, here's a view of the stage. And the other beauty about this, it's not even a stage, it's really a performance pavilion. There's really 3 sides to this performance pavilion. So, because we have a lot of different events with a lot of different attendance sizes in Lock 3, sometimes you'll have 3,500 people in Lock 3, you might have 500 people in Lock 3. Each portion of this performance pavilion will be able to cater to each one of those size of events. So maybe if it's a smaller event, you can actually use the side of the performance pavilion. If it's even a smaller event, you can use the back side. And in conversations with the Maynard Family Foundation, they have agreed to actually have the performance pavilion named in honor of Phil Maynard. And many of us know that Phil was just a great friend of this community, a great advocate, and we're really excited. Our goal is to raise $1 million for the performance pavilion. And to date, we've raised about $652,000 towards that goal. So we're really making progress towards that. But we really, like I said, we want to turn this into a 365-day park and make it a destination. And speaking of 365 days, ice skating and winter activities are also a really important component. And it will include a very large ice cream rink as well. So that's really kind of a quick update. I promise to keep to my time schedule here. I think the next slide, maybe just kind of keep scrolling through there. There's that's actually a nighttime shot of Lock 3 Park, which I think is really cool. And I think the next couple slides, I think, actually show the timeline. The goal would be for Lock 3 to be under construction by this fall, and with a completion date of around the middle of 2024. And so these projects are moving forward. We've raised about $10 million. Again, you see the amounts there for both Summit Lake and Lock 3. I think the amount for Lock 3 is about $10,200,000, but we're still in the fundraising mode. But these projects are indeed moving forward. We've been very blessed and fortunate to receive some City of Akron American Rescue Plan Act funding, a lot of philanthropic funding, and a lot of individual contributions as well. And so I would just want to thank you all very much for this opportunity. You've been an incredibly attentive audience, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you folks have. But thank you so much for your support of the Ohio Erie Canalway. Thank you. Any questions while Jerry's making your way up here? Yes, sir.
Wondered, Dan, if you could share what the progress is on connecting the Freedom Trail to the towpath.
For those online, the question was progress on connecting the Freedom Trail to the towpath.
Thank you very much. Really, under the leadership of Summit Metro Parks, we've been making a lot of progress. And so the final 2 stages are stage 3 and 4. And I believe those are both under design. Actually, construction actually happened in 2023 and 2024. And so that's a really important connection to connect over to Portage County. I'm really grateful for the leadership of Southern Metro Parks because they've had some challenges with land ownership and working with the adjacent railroads. Always a challenging situation. But thank you so much, Doug.
Dan, on the age-friendly Akron survey that was done, one of the barriers to older adults coming downtown was parking. So I just wondered if there was any discussion about parking with Block 3.
There actually has, and I think, thank you for that question regarding parking, or the perception of parking challenges in downtown. And I'll just be perfectly transparent with you. I think this is one of those situations where the perception does not match the reality. There are thousands of parking spaces right around Lot 3. There is on-street parking. There is parking lots, for instance, like the Richard Howe House is a parking space. There is parking at the Cascade deck. There's parking right next to the O'Neill's building. So I think it's probably more a matter of communicating where that parking is. And to be very transparent with you, I think there's a perception in our society that we want to park literally right out front to where we want to go. And you go to any beautiful major city, let's just take Chicago, for example. You don't park right in front of the Bean. You probably park down the street and you walk to the park. So I think part of this is education, awareness, but then also understanding that you're probably not going to be able to park right in front of the space at which you're going to go to. And I know that might not be a popular answer, but I think it's an honest one.
Thank you very much. We're going to put a pause on questions real quick, so Jerry, you can proceed here, and then thank you so much. We appreciate it. If you have a moment after, if anyone still has questions, but just to keep us on pace here.
Dan, don't run away. We have a little gift for you, and also for Allison Smith, whom I forgot to mention earlier. She is a recently hired communications director, I believe, for the Ohio and Erie Canalway Coalition. So we want to welcome Allison to our meeting as well. And here is your thank you card. And Allison, here is the Rotary Pin International 2022-23 Imagine. And what a great thing. Imagine.
Thank you so much.
Before you run away, I need you to pull the lottery winner today. I think it's me. That was not 228,505.
That wasn't planned.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming and come again.
Thank you.
We'd love to have you. It was a great presentation.
Thank you.
All right, no further announcements. It's great seeing everyone. Look forward to seeing you next week. Akron Food Bank on Wednesday with Cheers on Wednesday evening. Remember that meeting on the 23rd and 30th is at the Akron Rotary Camp. Don't forget. All right, again, good seeing everyone. With that, our meeting is adjourned. Be safe going home.